Vinny Caravello, we're back in space.
Alex Navarro, I never left.
Yeah, we're back.
Why nobody can ever hear me scream.
I mean, I can. I don't want to embarrass you or anything, but
Yeah.
I can hear you scream.
You can hear that?
Like every time we're in the office.
You can hear that?
I can hear your screaming.
Why don't you ever say anything?
I feel weird about it. Like, I kind of don't want to make a big deal about it because I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what your deal is, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to shame you about your need to scream.
This whole time, like every time I'm just like belting out. I'm literally inches from your face when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like you can hear that.
I mean, yes. Yes, I can.
That siren wail.
Yeah.
Ah! Sometimes it's high like that.
I just try to ignore it because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to embarrass you or anything.
Well, thanks for keeping my feelings in check. Alex, what are we doing here?
We are back.
We're back,
to
baby.
Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond Earth, which we did an unfinished of with a preview build last month. The game is out as of, I guess, when this video is going up, which is this Friday.
Yeah.
And
probably out a little bit before when it comes up.
Maybe.
Ballpark it.
But I figured we can jump in here and play a little bit of the final game so you can kind of see what was up. We'll just refresh people on what this game actually is. It is a sci-fi version of Civilization 5, basically.
Okay. If you want to boil it down to a bullet point.
So we're we're about 160 turns here into a new game where I'm on a planet that is a very water-heavy one. It's more islandy, as you can see.
You chose this.
I chose this
archipelago-esque.
Yeah. And, you know, I've got a little bit of a settlement going here. I've got 3 different cities. I'm currently at war with these folk over here, and I just started a war with this guy over here because he just tried to settle on my goddamn land, and I'm not okay with that.
So let me ask you, let me see if I remember from when we did the preview build some questions.
Sure.
Alex, I've got some questions for you. I hope you don't mind answering.
Get at me.
So what faction did you pick?
I chose what is essentially the new France.
Oh, look, there are the people.
Yeah, now they're back. Yeah, now you can actually see the people.
Okay. So he's in New France, Neo-Franco?
No, that is the guy who is the leader of Polystrasia.
Okay.
I am the New France.
You are the New France.
Yeah.
What does your person look like?
It's an old woman.
Okay.
You don't get to see, but like in my other games, I've seen what she looks like, and she is an old lady.
Who's this?
She is the leader of the something protectorate.
Okay.
She wants open borders. I'm like, I'm cool with that. You've been nice to me.
So you picked, there's the worm. You essentially picked the civilization, right?
Yes.
And then you can also start kind of moving your civilization towards one of 3, what are they, like ideologies?
Yeah, ideologies is the right way to look at it. So right now, the one we did in the last video was the supremacy one, which is the transhumanism, cyborgs, that kind of stuff.
We will overcome nature.
Yeah. There's also the harmony one, which sort of turns you into you just sort of get in more with like the alien stuff on the planet.
We'll work with nature.
The miasma that sort of permeates the landscape, like you can actually use that to heal at a certain point. Like it benefits you. And then right now I'm moving toward the purity one, which is we are human. We make this Earth now.
Right. Okay. Keep humans human.
Yep. And as we go, let's take a look at the tech tree here because now we can actually go further into it. So as you can see, like there are different technologies that give you those affinity boosts and that stuff. You can also earn those affinity boosts by doing quests throughout the game, which I'll jump into in here in a second.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But a lot of the victory conditions are also tied to those affinities.
Okay.
Which I'll show you here right now. Which one's quests and victories? So quests. Here are some examples. So like for this one. There's an invasive plant that has begun to spread.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You do that kind of stuff.
They're basically like objectives.
And then for this one, I just have to build a biofuel plant, and that will give me the right thing.
So where does it show what affinity it's going to give you?
Well, so these you can pick an affinity. Like these aren't specific to an affinity.
Oh, so once you're done, it's like choose what you want. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's some other ones here like kill a siege worm, which I should probably go do here pretty soon.
Sure.
But then so here are the victories.
Okay.
Emancipation, Transcendence are the 2 that I've done already. Emancipation is the supremacy one. Transcendence is the harmony one.
Okay.
And I believe Contact.
So can you not do these without the kind of corresponding ideology?
Yes. Like for Transcendence, you have to have the right ideology, and Emancipation's the same way.
Okay.
But like, for instance, Domination, that is just conquer all the other players' capitals, which is, pretty straightforward. Yeah. This one is, the Promised Land, so I haven't launched a laser comm satellite yet. I haven't gotten that one going.
That sounds like the get to Alpha Centauri from Civ 5.
And the nice thing is that when you start getting into a position where these victories become possible, you will see these little bars start to fill up, so you can see which other civilizations are progressing toward those victory conditions and see how close they are to winning.
Oh, I see. The bar underneath each.
Yeah, these little bars right here.
Each Civ. Got it. Okay.
So that is...
So have you found in playing this that you kind of focus on one of those from the beginning, or do you kind of just see where you're headed and then...
So the first time... So I tried to go for purity originally, and then I somehow did a couple of quests that got me harmony and got me above my purity, so I just started focusing on that.
Okay.
I think in general it's a good idea to kind of focus on one and just kind of move toward it, because... Well, it's nice to sometimes have some of the units and technologies that these are associated with.
Yeah.
You don't have enough time in a game to unlock every technology. You just can't do it.
So right, just kind of spreading your upgrade points all over the place.
Right, just it doesn't do you any good.
Well, especially if you're going for one of those victory conditions pertaining to.
Well, just and in general, like you can't win that way. Really, it just doesn't work.
I cannot dominate.
I'm gonna sleep that for the time being. All right, so I got an explorer up here. I'm just kind of like poking around, seeing what's up in this general area. There's a whole island here that's just full of aliens. But I unlocked an upgrade that makes it so explorers are not attacked by aliens.
Oh,
so
that's
that.
Is that not a harmony one?
That is just a regular thing. Yeah.
Vanilla.
Yeah.
So how you've played a couple of games? You said you had a couple of victories. What's the turn count on some of the games you've played?
Usually a little over 300.
Okay, so you would say you're about halfway there on this.
It seems like that way. Yeah. So right now I'm in Covert Ops, which is sort of your spy game stuff here. This is a little different than it was in Civ 5. You can do the basic thing of putting a spy in a city, getting information on them, and stealing technology if you want to, but that's actually only one of several options. You can use spies to siphon energy, which is the currency for the game. You can get science, and then at a certain point it starts getting real crazy. Like you can if you recruit defectors, you steal military units from other civilizations. Hacking satellites, actually literally staging a coup d'etat and getting control.
I thought coup d'etat was in some of the other ones.
It wasn't in 5.
Okay.
You couldn't do that in 5.
The dirty bomb.
Yep. You can actually call a worm strike.
That sounds like a real gnarly thing to do.
That's an affinity one. That's the only way you can do that. And this one is supremacy only. So, yeah, there's a lot of different stuff you can do, but you have to earn your way into that, and you have to do it without your agents being detected, which is harder than it sounds.
Do you find that to be, is it a part of the game you can ignore if you want to?
I wouldn't recommend it, because those, like, even just siphoning energy is a huge thing, because you need that money.
Like, I am by no means saying that I am anywhere near an advanced Civ player, but I usually stayed away from the espionage stuff.
It wasn't super useful in 5 unless you wanted to steal technology. So like that was the thing it was good for.
I always felt so dirty.
Yeah. In the last turn, I learned that there is some espionage going on in my main city, so I'm going to assign one of my
nuke the whole thing.
My spies to my capital to keep an eye on things.
You have a counter spy going in?
Yeah, that's the idea. So,
so there is a report that there is spying going on, and you have to send a spy to route it out?
Well, you put a spy in the capital to
your own capital,
potentially detect anyone who's trying to steal from you.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Okay, he's basically stationed there.
Yeah. All right. So right now they're not doing anything. I wonder if I can just make peace with these folks.
Got all day.
Yeah. No, not so much. No. She's not interested.
How has the diplomacy been? The AI wise, like. I found in other Civs, maybe not so much in Civ 5, but sometimes the AI and diplomacy stuff could just be
not all over the place.
Yeah, not as flexible as you'd think. Like, hey, I'm about to wipe out your last city.
Yeah.
You should give me anything I want.
Yeah, in this case, I've found that they're pretty good, at the very least, about realizing when victory is potentially against them.
Okay.
I've had Civs start going to war with me when they realized that I was kind of building toward a victory condition.
Oh, okay,
they've stopped trading with me, stopped talking to me. But in other cases, it's also been a little bit buggy. One of the things I ran into was there are these little there are these stations down here. These are just like essentially city-states that come and go.
Yeah.
At one point, I attacked one and destroyed it and took it over for myself, or the space for myself. And everyone was very mad at me for doing that because they were using that to trade with.
Sure.
And they all said, don't ever do that again. I agreed. I said, that's fine. I'm never going to do that again. And I never did.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the game, every, I don't know, 30 or 40 turns, they would all just decide to remind me, hey, don't do that.
They were really upset.
Even though I had not done that in, like, a very long while.
We can't get our cheap Walkmans anymore.
No.
Never do that again.
This is your fault.
So the I guess kind of backing up a bit, because a lot of this ground was covered in our kind of unfinished.
Yeah.
But you got the big worm there in the upper left. He's kind of tough. You can build a barrier around your city to make sure he doesn't.
I've already got a fence in this city, I think, so he won't be able to get within more than 2 tiles of my city.
Okay.
So I'm going to move this rocket launcher over here just to start destroying that thing.
The miasma is basically a poison cloud, which
you can either turn into something that you can use as a benefit, or you can just get rid of over time.
And it's just kind of coating portions of the world, right?
Right.
And so.
And another alien island.
Your explorer has noticed something strange nearby. It could be a
I don't think I can actually do anything. So with explorers, you have to bring them back to cities to restock, basically, so they can have more supplies to do more expeditions.
Right, like after kind of doing.
Yeah.
Because what do? You find like you'll find points
ruins,
of interest, and
you'll find ruins. You'll find alien skeletons that can be excavated. You can find like I found there's these things called progenitor ruins, which are these caves that you can go into, and then sometimes they'll give you big boosts. They'll give you like they'll be part of a quest. There was one that I actually had to send military units into the cave to complete the quest.
Did the map change to inside the? Okay.
No, it just sort of like you move them over there, you press a button, and it's like
tile.
a thing happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a kind of side question here.
Yes.
You mentioned like a progenitor thing. Is there any kind of actual narrative going on here on this planet? Are you discovering like a progenitor race or anything like that?
Nothing that hyper specific. Like there is a little bit of like lore they kind of tease here and there, but like it's not like you're meeting like intelligent aliens that you can like talk to or do anything with.
Is it cohesive? Is it like you will start to uncover this like ancient tale of like how we got life on Earth? Or
I haven't gotten a real great sense of anything like that. For me, it's mostly just been kind of like color to what you're doing.
Okay.
We can sort of dig a little deeper into like the Civilopedia stuff here in a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of leave you here out of that.
But in none of your games did you encounter some alien race that then went on to like have a cutscene or something?
No cutscene type stuff. This guy's still just wandering into my territory and wrecking shit. So F you.
I have most of your exploits in the world here. Does your planet have a name?
If it has one, I wasn't paying attention when I started it.
Most of them just wind up with some sick battles happening. Have you ever just gotten through one that's just like, yeah, man, we're on this planet?
I had one situation in another game where 2 different civs attacked me at the same time, and they kind of just swarmed in on my territory. And then one of them got screwed over because they were near an alien nest and I was on Harmony, so the aliens weren't really messing with me.
And they just
started descending on them. And by that point, they had gotten strong enough to where they could pretty easily deal with the aliens, but it distracted them long enough for me to deal with one and then deal with the other.
But you have run into battles.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Like this is a battle right now.
Consistently. You haven't been able to just kind of talk your way out through an entire game.
Not really. No, I didn't. So the first game I played through, I didn't have any wars at all.
Really?
Yeah, because I think I played on a map that was big enough to where I wasn't really competing with space.
Oh, okay.
Like this is a massive map. This is the largest size that you can do. But because it is an ocean-heavy map, there isn't as much land.
Sure, which I assume separates you a bit from the other players, but also makes all land more
when you are on the
valuable,
same land mass, yeah, it becomes more of a problem.
Do you get naval units right out of the gate since this is the future?
You get them very early. You don't get them right the very beginning. Like it's one of the earliest technologies you can research gets you boats and like trade vessels and stuff, but it's not right at the outset. While we're here, here's some of the stuff that I've been able to build so far.
Sorry, I know like Civ is usually a pretty dense game and really hard to kind of walk through because you kind of go all over the place. But But please show me,
show
me your build action.
This is one of the earliest things you can build. It's obviously just gives you more energy. This is essentially, a factory.
Yeah.
And so this one, in addition to giving you production, it also takes away some of your health, which is the happiness equivalent in this game.
Yeah. Have you had towns revolt because of happiness, or?
I have not seen anything like that up to this point. I think health is sort of presented more as like, is your society in good condition, more than like a we're all going to revolt against you kind of thing. This dome, it gives you 10 city hit points and also a culture boost.
Okay.
Mines are pretty self-explanatory. You can also build like farms pretty much anywhere. These are like plantations for different kinds of fruits and what have you.
And you do have different kinds of resources, right? Like gone or like oil and iron, right?
Yeah. So here are those strategic resources that exist in the world. Some of these are more tied to those affinities than others, but like you'll eventually find stuff that's useful for most of these.
Yeah, floatstone.
Yeah. Feraxite.
Yeah, sure.
Xenomass. Xenomass is the only one I have right now, and that's the Xenomass well that I have built over here.
So, kind of jumping into this, I know you've spent a decent amount of time with it.
Yeah.
It's anybody who's familiar with the Civ series is not going to have a hard time getting in here with the basics.
Especially if you've played Civ 5. Like, I wouldn't go so far as to just call this a quick and dirty reskin of Civ 5, but the mechanics are identical, and the progression is somewhat different, but the mechanics are, like, this is immediately familiar to me as someone who has played a whole lot of Civ 5.
And so I think you were even saying before we did this, if you have been playing Civ 5 kind of religiously up until this point, maybe less of an impact than if I kind of played Civ 5 at release, put it down, haven't played Civ 5 for a while, and so this is really appealing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a layer of new mechanics on top of Civ 5.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's just a kind of rejiggering of a lot of very familiar stuff.
Do you feel like it's taking advantage of the sci-fi trappings?
Aesthetically, yes. I think it's a cool looking game. I think the alien worlds all have kind of a neat look to them. I haven't gotten a real, like you said, I haven't gotten a real great sense of like what the fiction is,
sure.
like what what brought everyone to this. I mean, we can go dig into the Civilopedia after this.
I guess I just meant more in terms of mechanics or even like cool units and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you get some cool units, especially once you start getting far into these kinds of things. Because let's see if I can find the upgrade units thing. Like,
oh right, I remember this. This is where you can turn the Marines into like Space Marines. And stuff.
But like in this case. I haven't gotten far enough in to really do anything super cool yet, but like these change pretty drastically in terms of visuals and style depending on which way you go with this.
Based on your whatever they call affinities or ideologies or whatever. Yeah, but these were cool. I remember seeing these.
Yeah, so that's one of the cooler things about the military stuff.
Did you feel like that's kind of late game stuff by the time you get down those trees?
It definitely is much later into the game than like. For the first half, I'd say you're pretty much just using fairly boilerplate kind of units, and then it kind of diverges at about that point. And then the virtues are just like cultural policies. These are things that you get by rebuilding this culture thing from turn to turn.
Sure.
And I haven't gotten super far into any of these trees yet. Like none of the games I've had have lasted long enough to really, like, I've mostly just been kind of spreading around. I haven't been focusing on any one of these, and maybe that's not the best way to approach it, but I've been doing okay so far that way.
What's on the left there? Are those like
these are affinity bonuses or synergy bonuses in this case. So by filling enough up in this tier, you get one free virtue, or you get this kind of stuff, or that.
Oh, I see. So if you were to stay and kind of just try and max out one of those rows,
yep, you get those kind. And these also have individual ones as well. Like, so if I just focused on industry, I would get all of these.
Jeez, that's some options.
Yeah, yeah. Let's at least get this alien genetics researched.
But okay, so in the end, you are doing research to hit technologies and doing next turn fighting battles.
Yep. Oh wait, this guy's gonna kill me, isn't he? Because I should get away from him because I'm at war with them. I forgot.
So is this the biggest map you can do?
It's set to the largest size.
Okay.
Obviously there are land masses that are probably bigger than this that you can.
Yeah, but this is and you have all of the civs on, like basically different AI players.
Yeah. So every available civ is in this game.
So technically, this is about as long as. Is there? I guess what I'm getting at is there any way to make the game go longer?
I haven't found a way to sort of extend that stuff beyond what is already there right now. Like I said, the longest game I think I've had was like 350 turns. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't remember the exact length.
How is that, like a couple hours?
This game says I've played it for about 25 hours now.
Wow.
And that's 2 full games, plus probably leaving it on my computer for a little while, not actually doing anything. So I'd say each game was probably between like 10 and 12.
Oh, wow. That is a chunk of
It's a chunk of time. Yeah, for sure. Send you over here. All right, so I finished Alien Genetics. That gave me another priority bonus. It gave me more culture from BioWell, and now I get science from these as well.
So you are.
I actually get a couple of upgrades here.
Almost all in on the purity stuff.
So 20 sea units, 20 lanes. I actually don't have any boats right now. I should probably build one of those at some point. And this is my rocket business.
Yeah.
Attacking cities, attacking land units. You know, let's just do land units because right now I'm trying to kill that worm.
So that was not a purity, or that was a.
Those are just like those first 2 are just whatever. Strike rank. City strength.
Does the AI go down those purity, harmony tracks as well? So you'll see units.
Not only will you see them start building diverging units, they will start chastising you if you were using a different affinity. Like if you when I went real far down the harmony level, I had people yelling at me like, "Why have you abandoned humanity? What is wrong with you?" kind of stuff.
And that kind of, I assume, affects your diplomacy.
It does. Like people, like civilizations that do not like you, that are not your affinity, you are harder to get along with. Which, sounds about right.
Have you found the combat to be challenging?
Not super. The most challenging it gets is when there's a lot of stuff to fight. Like when you're being bombarded, by a whole bunch of different
wildlife
aliens. That can be tough. But like, it's not. It's overwhelming at the beginning, but once you start upgrading your soldiers and whatever else, like they start getting smoked pretty fast.
Okay.
So you just need to weather the storm for a little bit, and then eventually you'll be strong enough to deal with it. So I now need to pick my next technology. I could do one of these. These are going to take a while. So there's some different stuff I can kind of pursue.
Do you feel like now being in about your 3rd game here, you know the tech tree pretty well?
Reasonably well, yeah. The game's pretty good about you get these little recommendations. He thinks we should do this. Your military advisor thinks you should do this.
Is that the extent of the advisors?
You can get more detailed advice. I have that mostly turned off because I've played through a bunch of games now.
Okay.
But you can definitely get more detailed advice about like what you should be focusing on, like what everything in the game is, especially early on.
No more like talking head advisor, like go to a screen and see like
a
guy pops up. And
there's no guy that pops up, but there is like a dialogue prompt, and then like a narrator will pop and be like, "You have a thing that is happening right now. You should go take a look at it."
Okay.
So yeah.
Can we see the tech tree one more time? Because I don't think we got to see the full tech tree when we did the preview.
Yeah, we didn't. So as you can see, like there's some that are like, these are pretty far off right now. I'm trying to think which are the ones that you need for victory conditions.
Dark networks. What do those do over on the left there?
Dark networks.
What is that? Some kind of
orbital unit.
Oh, gets all the spies out of your junk.
Oh, there's some stuff happening. Oh, aliens are attacking me. Oh, that's not gonna.
That's a.
Oh, they're attacking that guy because I'm an explorer, so they're not worried about me.
Huh.
So let's get away from there.
But no, for the most part, no. Well, I guess not for the most part. There are no alien civilizations.
No, just the
other human.
The references to the progenitor stuff are just references, as far as I've been able to see. The aliens are the creatures that you're essentially just repeatedly killing.
And even those outposts are human outposts that you just kind of trade with?
Yeah.
There's no native, like...
There's no aliens and spaceships showing up at any point.
Or that were on this planet that are like, hey, we live here too, except for the native wildlife, which...
Yeah, which are essentially the equivalent of barbarian units in Civ 5.
Your words, not mine, man.
No, I mean, that's...
If you choose not to speak the language of the space bee...
Look, man, I'm just...
I know you're purity. I know you don't want to recognize the space worms, free range place. You can do stuff with them though, right? Like you had a farm with like space cows on it, didn't you?
Well, yeah. So like these are just aliens that you can sort of domesticate.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, like these are just creatures that have these nests, and so you can build a paddock around this. There's another type, these little guys over here. These are just bugs.
Yeah.
But they're non-threatening. You know, like they're not the kind that you're fighting against. Like these like giant, you know,
yeah, those things will wreck a
worms,
city, right?
Siege worms, I think is what they're called. And then, you know, these things over here, like these, none of these are friendly.
It really sounds like the early game is tough.
It's you just need to weather the storm. That's what it boils down to. Is you just need to be able to.
Jeez, that guy's just polluting. Is that you?
No, that's someone pillaged this that thing that I had there. So I'm just gonna move over here and I'm gonna heal up. You just hang out there, and nothing's happening there. There was another thing I was gonna do. So yeah, I want to clear out that nest at some point. I dealt another thing. What do I want? Culture, outpost growth.
Are there wonders?
Yes, and some of those are affinity specific, some are not.
Okay.
Like there are a couple that anyone can build, but most of them are, and there aren't a lot of Civ specific ones. Like so, it's not like in Civ 5 where everyone could build
the library,
or the like the hermitage, or you know, like the Great Museum. Right?
Sure.
I'm trying to remember what some of the specific ones.
Lighthouse.
The Great Lighthouse was one that only one Civ could build.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's like there's the spy agency. That's one that anyone can build here. There was I don't know. There were a few of those that were like specific that everyone could build. There aren't as many of those here.
Okay.
Most of them are one Civ builds it. That's the end of it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was misunderstanding. You're saying like a one and done, like
Yeah.
Okay, very unique units, right?
Right.
Or
The
very
ones that
unique-
only one Civ can build.
and then it's off the table, and
it's
then
off
you
the
have
table.
to. Then you wasted 70 turns trying to build your damn hanging
Right,
gardens.
and you get like 300 gold for it, and that or energy
Yes.
in this case, and that's the end of it.
Got it.
What do I want to build here? So here's some of the things I can build right now.
And this is in this town.
Yeah, this is the stuff that I haven't built yet.
They recommend you build an auto plant.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea. Get some more production out of that city.
How much automation can you stick onto everything? Can you just tell the city-states or the little towns to be like, you know what, just pick the recommended thing each time. I don't want to go through this.
Production management. Nah, you know, I mean, you can kind of tell it what to focus on.
Sure.
But that's.
But you kind of like the micromanaging part? You like kind of see.
I like telling the game what I want to
Okay.
build. This is one of the wonders that you can actually build. I'm trying to remember if there's like a menu where you can actually see the different buildings in the city, because that was something you had in Civ 5. Oh, there it is, building in Wonder. So, you know, these are some of the buildings I have. These are the wonders I've built here so far. This Gene Vault thing.
Is this your capital?
Yeah. Panopticon.
Sure.
And the Spy Agency, which, you know, again, is everything.
Dang.
These are all the buildings I have so far.
Holy cow. You've been at this.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I'm 100 and some odd turns. We'll do a couple more turns, and then maybe we'll just go take a look in the Civilopedia. One thing I have not been able to do yet, as of this, which we recorded a couple days before it goes up, is get on multiplayer and see what that's all about.
Because nobody's on there.
There's nobody on there playing right now. I imagine it's going to be pretty similar to Civ 5's multiplayer, which is not something I messed around with a whole lot on my own time. So, like, at this point, these guys are strong enough, the Marines, to where they can't do much to me. Even if I'm damaged, like, they can't really hurt me much.
And you same kind of thing, you get veterancy and all that stuff?
Yeah, every time you do a certain... Basically, once you get a certain amount of XP, you can upgrade those units. Or you can insta-heal them, whatever they need. I'm almost done killing this worm. I just want to kill this worm, and I think that's going to be my my grand victory here. Let's just have you fortify and heal for the moment. As for this, yeah, you could probably use a defense perimeter since we're still at war with these assholes. Maybe you stop now?
Has anybody...
You just don't care. All right.
Has anybody in this this game so far been knocked out?
No.
Is everybody still here?
Everyone's still here. It's still early enough to where there haven't been enough wars, really, for anyone to get knocked out.
Okay.
Like, this is the first big confluence of conflict that I've had. I wonder if he wants to fight still or not. I just destroyed his settler, and I imagine he's probably pretty pissed about that.
We thrive because we built a solid foundation in this world. Values brought from Earth.
Okay.
We thrive because we built a solid foundation.
Yeah, we know.
I know.
We heard.
I learned that.
Yeah, we heard that already. He's too far away. Fix that. That's great. Let's go over here. Build something else. Quest decision. Okay, so here's one of these little quest things, and here's what I have to decide. Do I want to add city hit points, or do I want to have free maintenance?
Ooh.
I'm going to add city hit points. It's never a bad thing to have.
We're not really under attack, right?
Not currently, but this city is not very strong yet, and I think I would like to just have those.
Fortified a bit.
All
Oh,
right.
now you're in it.
Here's our first one.
Yeah.
That's great. So, Sentinel, these options, 30% when defending, 10% per unused movement. I'm going to go with the just straight defending one. And here's a new plane.
Needle jet.
30% when intercepting, 15% against land and sea units. I'm going to do that one. Because those things are not super strong against those kinds of units. I actually don't have any planes yet, but, you know, when I want to build one, maybe that would be a good thing to have.
There's isn't there like a view where you can see like pull out off the world a little bit to see the, is it like the radar coverage or satellite coverage?
Yes, here is the satellite coverage. So I have these little satellites here right now. These are just solar collectors that give you energy boosts. There are other ones, you know, ones that add and remove the miasma. There are ones that are defense satellites.
And they're limited.
They're limited
stay
time.
in orbit for a bit, right?
Some of them stay in for a really long time. Some don't. Like I said, it's pretty highly variable. I'm gonna have you build a generator. You think I should build a dome there? All right, I'll build a dome. How about that?
Build a dome.
Building a dome. There's a lot of other different stuff you can build. Like there's actually a wide variety of stuff that you can build on most of these grids. I just haven't like built most of them or gotten the technologies for them yet.
Rock that worm.
Yeah, let's kill that thing. I think this will complete a quest too.
And then I assume that's
Yep.
Is that a purity quest? Oh no, I think it was just a.
It was just a general quest.
What's that stuff? Is that fluorine tide?
This is the Firaxite.
Firaxite?
Yeah.
Oh, Firaxite. So silly.
Just kind of. I don't think this guy actually has any ability to do expeditions, but I'm just kind of searching around the world, seeing what's out here. Obviously, there's a lot of undiscovered area.
Yeah. So I was gonna say one of the weirder things for this game, and I'm probably gonna jump in here at some point when I get some free time and play because it does seem really appealing, is the conceit that even in the future, thousands of years in the future, say since Civ 5 or whatever, you still gotta wait a while to get like satellite coverage and like see a bigger picture of the world and kind of, you know, build some tech to get boats and that kind of stuff.
I mean, you're basically starting with the concept of the first human colony on another world. So you're kind of having to rebuild your society and your society's functionality.
Remember how to build a nav satellite.
Well, and also just, you know, being able to accumulate the kind of resources you need to build that kind of stuff.
Sure. Like Firaxite.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to send you up here because I wanted to build wanted to get a settler up here at some point.
So
there's all that petroleum there that I want to mine.
Oh, yeah,
or get a well for that. All right, so what do we got? Orbital coverage from launch complexes, 10% production of orbital units. Let's do that.
this does not have as much Alpha Centauri as Alpha Centauri.
It's a lot of Civ 5. I mean, it is a whole lot of Civ 5, and I don't necessarily mean that in a derogatory way because I really like Civ 5 a lot. But if you are looking for a radically different game from what Civ 5 offered, this is not it.
Right. Call of Duty, maybe.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it, but it is not
It is Civ 5 in space.
I'm having a hard time imagining myself playing this game for a really long time because I have played so much Civ 5 that this doesn't necessarily. I mean, it hasn't rekindled my love all over again. It just sort of like, all right, well, cool, this is something different.
So for me, having only played Civ 5 kind of near when it came out, I'm really interested to get in here because it is rekindling that Civ 5 itch. And I think that affinity stuff or ideology stuff is interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of go down some of those paths.
I'm going to build a settler here real quick, and then I'm going to build a new settlement. I think that will be the end of this little tour here.
Do you get cutscenes when you get a victory condition?
Not so much a cutscene as just like a menu screen that pops up that says something very dramatic and kind of just
graphs.
Sort of indicates your victory more than anything else. There's like some land mass down here. Let's see what's going on. Let's head down this direction.
Can your explorers just take to the water?
Yes.
They embark or whatever?
They can embark on the water. Maintenance on networks, culture from networks. I like culture. Culture's a good thing. Sometimes.
Oh, there's a space worm in that water. Just
that thing's dead. Later, dude. Shouldn't have crept up on me like that.
Was that part of the evil?
I haven't.
So that that was an enemy. She's just she doesn't want to.
She wants nothing to do.
She's still
with
being a jerk. It's basically when she says something like, "Have you come to beg for mercy?" She does not want to end this war. She just wants to keep fighting forever.
Can you just go raid her capital?
I could if I wanted to, but I don't have enough military units to really pull that off. This guy doesn't want to fight me anymore, so let's end this right now. You and me, let's be bros.
Can you do a mutual attack on your enemy here?
We're not friendly enough to do that.
Okay.
But you know, we can do the usual stuff. We can decide. I tell him not to sell.
Yeah.
Talk about a cooperation agreement. No, he's not into that right now. I could condemn him. I could declare war against. I could ask him to declare war against someone else if we want to.
But he's not gonna.
He's not in the mood for it. So we're just gonna leave him alone.
You kind of occupy and take over cities in a similar Civ 5 fashion. Like you whittle down the defenses, then storm in and.
Yep, same idea. I just cleared that nest, so there's no longer a nest of aliens forever spawning there. I can actually.
Have you found, like, if they do kind of forever spawn there, is that a good place to just station some soldiers and just grind XP?
It is, yeah, and also, you know, there are bonuses that will give you science for killing aliens.
Oh.
So that is also a useful thing to get. I mean, they're small bonuses, but they add up.
If you're just sitting there turn for turn.
Yeah, they add up over time. So I just built a settler. I'm just going to send them up here and build a new... So you can kind of see what happens when you build a new settlement.
Sure. What's your most kick-ass unit so far?
Right now, it's these...
Super Marines?
Yeah, these guys right now. They're kind of the cream of the crop that I have. They're the only affinity-specific
it's those ones
that I have right now.
And when you hit that upgrade, they just automatically
change. Yeah, you don't have to bring them back to your city to transform them. They just do it, which is actually a really nice touch because that could get really frustrating. Having to constantly try and bring your guys back so you could upgrade them.
But you do have to bring your Explorer back to drop off, to reload or whatever, right?
Yes. All right, send you over here. We're gonna build a road up there. You're in kind of a gross spot here, full of miasma, so I'm just gonna keep healing you. All right, now let's say up here.
That's your settlement?
Yeah, I want that petroleum mass over there, so I'm gonna send him up there.
It gives you, I assume, recommended places for building?
Yes, it will show up, like icons will appear on the map. Be like, this is where you should probably build a thing. And you know, in the end, you really are just trying to get as many of these resources as you can claim for yourself.
Sure.
These guys spread out really fast, so that's why I had to build this here, because I didn't want them taking over this entire region.
Got it. And are those the ones you're at war with?
They are the ones I am currently at war with.
Okay.
You just hang there. You heal up here. And you... Can we just please end this, please?
I haven't got all...
Oh, God. Usually they'll say something like, isn't it time maybe we ended this war? You know, maybe we should... Let's be bros.
I think you roll on them, man. Get those Space Marines and teach them a lesson. Bring your stormtroopers up there.
What do I want you to build? Network, sure.
Do you only have one of those stormtrooper units?
Which ones?
The Space Marines?
No, there's one up here too.
Oh, there they are.
They're the ones that are in the city here.
Oh.
These are a ranged unit.
Okay.
All right, so I want you to start building a route up there.
You think they could take that other town if you wanted to?
I think I have enough. If I committed all the units that I currently have to it,
so just not one of those.
It would take more than a machine gun unit and one of these to take over most cities. I mean, this one's not super strong, so I might be able to do it, but it would be. I would take more losses than I would if I actually tried to strategize a little bit.
Got it. Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Those things,
cool?
again, they're not really going to bother me because I'm a explorer, so. Yeah, the one thing I found so far is that the aliens, I've had a harder time aggroing the aliens than I did in the last build that we did a video for. They
toned it down a bit?
I think they might have toned it down a little bit because they haven't been coming at me in as great a volume as they were in that previous build.
They seem pretty aggressive.
Yeah. They were very aggressive in that version. Oh, hey, there's a resource pod there. I should go get that.
Those guys just woke up.
Hey, I was taking a nap. Where was that?
The resource pod?
Yeah, where was that?
Buy or Explorer somewhere.
I'd say it was over here. I can't remember. They'll ask me next turn, so I'll just send them back over.
Isn't it that little thing in the lower right? Oh, it's gonna.
It's okay. I'll have to do. Oh, there it is. Yeah. There it is. So I'll just send them up here. The one thing I've had a hard time in some cases is maintaining health. That is a hard thing to do because there are no luxury resources in this game, which was kind of the thing that you used a lot in Civ 5 to balance that happiness rating out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been challenging. All right, here we go. So let's found a new outpost. Now, when you found an outpost,
yes,
it is not just automatically a city from the get-go. It takes time to basically unfold itself into all these things. So that's the thing you kind of have to wait for.
Is it pretty vulnerable during this?
It is. And it gets stronger with each tile that it takes over. But right now, if someone were to run in and just start blasting this thing, it would be extremely vulnerable.
Uh-oh.
What do we got over here? All right, so this one failed to siphon any energy and was detected, so you suck.
Later.
This one was detected, but still managed to get some energy out.
Okay, good for you.
So there's a lot of there's a decent amount of variation in what can take place there.
But you didn't lose your spy by being detected?
No, they can be killed.
Okay.
But in this case, they were not.
Okay.
I'm going to assign you somewhere else because both of you were detected and you suck. So I'm just going to send you to different cities where maybe you won't be detected. How about that? Maybe try not being detected.
I mean,
be a better spy.
Since he was detected, or like. Does that mean like he or she is basically
their cover is essentially blown, and it makes it much more difficult for them to do any of the work that they need to do to take anything for you.
But does that cause the other person to declare war or something?
Not necessarily. You'll get sometimes they'll chide you for getting in there.
On them?
Yeah, but there's no like no auto war just because you were spying on them.
We're all spying.
Yeah, we're all spying on each other. We know that. I think that's about as basic an overview as I can give.
Well, looking at Civilopedia?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I can do that from in here. Oh, here it is, yeah.
Oh.
So if you want to know everything there is to know about this game.
I want to know everything.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Whoa.
Technologies, units, unit upgrades, buildings, wonders, virtues, covert ops, sponsors, and leaders.
These are the civilizations.
So if you want to know the background information on what all these...
That's cool. Which one are you? You're the Franco...
Yes, I'm the Franco Iberia. What was her name?
The Great Mistake?
This is her.
Do you know what the Great Mistake was?
Not yet, no. Here, just about.
Concepts. Next turn. Yes.
European elitist. That sounds about right. Yeah, just, kind of what happens. I think the great mistake is essentially whatever environmental disaster led everyone to start fleeing the damn planet.
The internet was, as we will call it, the great mistake.
Yeah, this is basically America with its, its now CEO.
Sure. The CEO of America?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sounds about right.
Oh, look at all those units.
Yep.
Dang.
And so, with just kind of give you an idea of like what some of the victory stuff is. Pull up the quests and virtues. So for victories, so for transcendence, you have to build these technologies, and you have to build essentially a portal back to Earth, and you have to start feeding military units into it.
To take over Earth?
I think so, yeah. Like you have to go redominate Earth with your crazy transhumanist society.
Again, the map doesn't change, right? You're just
what you do is you just keep building military units and you keep sending them to this thing that you have built, and they disappear into the.
And that gets you a tick on the.
Yeah, it gives you a tick, and then like what was it? What was the other one?
That's Transcendence?
That was Transcendence. That was Emancipation.
Okay, you're going to free Earth.
Yes. Transcendence is the one where you build this thing called the Mind Flower, which is this big pulsing thing that You don't have to feed it anything.
Sure.
But you have to have these technologies in order to build it.
And then you become like the Star Child.
And a certain amount of affinity. And what it does is it starts, I guess, connecting with the biology of the planet. And you can build these things in the cities that help speed that process along. But you have to wait a certain number of turns for it to finish doing what it's doing, and then
I
you
assume
win.
that's a large number of turns.
I got it done in under 30, but I was with having built those mine stems in the cities and that kind of stuff.
Sure. Okay.
So if you're in a race with another civilization that like has more cities and
yeah.
you know has more resources, that can actually be a little bit tense. Let's just blow those things away. Yeah, that's the. These are some of the basic ideas of how to win at Civilization
There
Beyond
you go.
Earth.
Everything you need to know. The full guide, Alex's full guide on how to win.
Yeah.
Well, so that's about it. And you said the multiplayer is
Currently, I've not been able to test it at all. So,
can you pull up the game options at all from in here? I'm just curious to see how much tweaking one can do. It doesn't seem like too much here. No, it's just kind of like display stuff, right?
Yep.
Is it like no difficulty setting?
There is a difficulty setting. You set that at the beginning of the game.
Oh, you do?
And
Okay.
that's the end of it. There's like 7 or 8 different difficulties. This is like the one above normal is what I'm playing on right now. The one where you get like the AI has like just a couple of small advantages, but otherwise it's pretty much on par.
Okay.
And then they just keep adding more advantages to the AI over time.
I wonder if an easier game would go on longer because like there's less incentive to kind of just get your button motion, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, what was that?
That was another solar collector. That was what I picked up from that resource pod.
Oh, I got it.
So I'm getting more energy from these little areas here.
So are you reviewing this or?
Yeah, I'm planning on writing a review. I would like to get into the multiplayer and see how that is before I do it. So it might not be up at the time when this video goes up. I don't know. I'm going to try and find some people to play a game with here pretty soon.
I'll be curious to see how that goes. It's like I said, for me, someone who hasn't played Civ 5 and since near release, if not a couple of weeks or a month after, this is really appealing. But I could see where somebody would get burned out if they had been really kind of consistently playing the Civ library of games.
It does feel a little bit like a stopgap in some respects, but I think it's a good one. You know, it seems like it functions pretty well. It's got a few bugs here and there that I've noticed, like the stuff I mentioned before with diplomacy, but...
Well, I think they did a lot with Civ 5 to kind of streamline the Civ series. So
and it is it is a pretty easy game to figure out. I mean, it's dense, but it seems even less dense to me than I had with Civ 5. So.
And like, you know, if I would imagine Firaxis would have a tough time changing the formula too much.
Yeah.
And keeping
you know, they have an established design. They have a lot of assets they can just, you know, kind of redo.
There's probably a couple reasons why there's no Alpha Centauri 2.
Yeah, probably a few.
Well, thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Vinny.
Looking forward to playing this.